It's time for Law in Our Life. That means that we have Hyunjoo here in our studio. She is a lawyer practicing here in Gwangju, and she's also a guest on our show, and she's going to help us understand Korean law. Hello, Hyunjoo.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing okay. Still tired of wearing masks in the studio like this.
Yes.
But that's life. How are you doing?
I'm doing okay.
Yeah. I mean, you're always in a good mood here. I don't know how you do it. But we're going to talk about something that's pretty interesting. It's actually something I don't know anything about in terms of the law. I guess we're going to talk about like surrogate motherhood?
Yes.
Yeah. Wow. All right. Hit me with it.
Recently, Japanese reporter and celebrity in Korea, Sayuri, gave birth to her child in Japan without getting married.
Okay.
She said that she wanted to have a child, but was not sure about the marriage itself.
I think a lot of people are in that situation.
Sure. As her biological clock was ticking, she decided to use sperm donor to get pregnant. As in Korea, it's not permitted for an unmarried woman to have sperm donation for the purpose of pregnancy.
Really?
So only the woman who has a husband can apply for it.
Really?
Yes.
Wow. I had no idea.
So she thought Korea is not an option for her, so she went back to her home country, Japan.
So
and yeah.
I guess there's some cultural reasons for that, right?
It's more based on the legal system, I think.
Really?
Yeah, Korea.
Okay.
Yes.
Fascinating. Tell me about it, please.
I think as Korea has very strong ties with family, and traditionally the family bond or the lineage has been a very serious issue. So that might be the reason why we still limit it to the people who have husband.
Right. I know that while I've been here in Korea, they actually they changed some laws related to how the family books.
Right,
and,
right.
You know,
the registration.
Yeah, the registration. Still, when that's all explained to me, it sounds like it sounds very interesting to me as a foreigner, but it sounds very complicated.
Yes.
And it used to be very kind of gender unequal. And I guess this is another one of those situations. So tell us about a case involving this.
Yes, so today I'd like to talk about the maternity of a child born with the help of a surrogate mother.
Okay, how does it work?
So here is the case from the real court.
Okay.
The couple A and B did not have a baby for a long time. So they decided to use surrogate mother to have their own baby.
Okay.
The doctor performed in vitro fertilization using egg from the mother and sperm from the father and placed the resulting fertilized egg or the embryo into the surrogate mother's womb.
Right. So just for our listener, a surrogate mother carries the embryo, but is not biologically related to the child.
No.
Just to be clear.
All right. The surrogate mother gave birth to a child not in Korea but in the U.S. Therefore, in the birth certificate that was issued by the U.S. hospital have the name of the surrogate mother on it. However, as you may expect, the DNA gene test proves that the couple A and B are biologically related, mother and child of the newborn.
Of course.
Sure.
Okay. What's next?
Yeah, but when the baby arrived in Korea, the father went to the KU office to register the child's birth.
Right, you have to do paperwork. You've got a new child here.
Sure, so it's a natural thing. So he wrote that A is the father and B is the mother in that form.
Sure.
However, when the officer found that the surrogate mother's name is on the U.S. birth certificate, he denied to accept the registration.
Oh.
As the mother's name is different from the name on the birth certificate. Therefore, the father filed a lawsuit at the family court.
Okay. Now, from listening to that, to me, no one did anything wrong. I think, the officer is doing their job.
Sure.
They're not sure why this happened. The baby could be stolen. They could have bought the baby. Who knows what's going on?
Right.
So they have to say, wait a minute, there's a problem with the paperwork. So that sounds reasonable. Now, how did it go through the court?
So according to the court decision, the criteria to decide the mother of the child by law is the natural fact of the delivery of the mother. So you may think that the criteria were made in 1976 in the Supreme Court decision.
Sure.
Yeah, therefore the court might have adopted more than criteria nowadays because this case was made in 2018.
All right.
So, but in the court decision made in 2018, the court still had somewhat conservative view on it. Uh-huh. The justices found that the fertilization, 40 weeks of pregnancy, the giving birth to a child itself, breastfeeding right after the birth, all those facts involve the emotional aspects of maternity. Uh-huh. And if the mother is decided by the intent of the interest parties, such as like the couple A and B, or just based on the gene test, such maternity will not be properly protected.
Really?
Yeah. They thought so.
Wow.
Therefore, the justices found that the surrogate mother will be the legal mother of the child.
Really?
Yes.
That's unbelievable. I understand what they're saying about all that emotional aspect of paternity, but I mean, generally a surrogate mother, it's a business transaction, or or some very close family friend or member of the family helping you.
Yep.
But they're not claiming motherhood.
Wow. That can happen sometimes.
Well, I guess it could certainly happen here.
Mm-hmm.
This is bizarre. All right. So what are the repercussions of this?
Yeah, there is something shocking news for you still. In Korea, the contract to have a surrogate mother to give birth to your child is void.
Wow.
As it is against the social norm according to the Civil Act.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
So therefore, in 2006, after the surrogate mother gave birth to a child, she asked the parents to pay her the fee for her service.
Really?
Yeah, that because she thought it's a valid transaction.
Well, of course.
Yep. However, the court found that such contract is void, as I said. Mm-hmm. So the parents have no responsibility to perform the obligation, which means to pay the surrogate mother.
Wow.
Because it's a void contract from the very beginning.
So they backed out on paying their surrogate.
Mm-hmm. Therefore, there is no way to protect the contractual right of surrogate mother in the case the parents refuse to pay.
Uh-huh. But they could have, I guess if she wanted to play hardball, she could have asked for the baby back.
Yeah, because she's the mother.
She's technically the mother.
Yes.
This is really interesting. I mean, it sounds heartbreaking for a surrogate to go through all that and then, be denied your compensation. It's beyond heartbreaking to imagine the case you told me about A and B, with the mother not being recognized as the biological mother.
Yeah.
Now, this must be something that's going to evolve through some court cases, right?
Yes. As the advancement of technology and medical science, it's evident that we are expecting to have more surrogate mothers in the future and nowadays. Mm-hmm. Many aspects are concerned that even though we make those contract void, it will not stop the desire to find a surrogate mother or may leave it without any regulation at all. Mm-hmm. Actually, there was an issue in Thailand that a baby with a Down syndrome was born from a surrogate mother and the parents refused to take the baby.
I remember seeing that in the news. That's really upsetting as well.
Yeah. So if that happens in Korea, the baby will be with the surrogate mother because she's the legal mother. Uh-huh. And she will get no compensation.
Wow.
So it can be the possible persecution.
Sure. I mean, I know that surrogacy offers lots of interesting legal challenges. Mm-hmm. Like, does a surrogate have the right to receive an abortion?
Right.
Assuming that abortion is legal. Mm-hmm. Because it's not their baby, but it's their body.
Yeah, right.
It creates all kinds of legal conundrums. But I've never heard anything like what you're telling me about today.
Yeah, it was a very famous case in Korea.
I'm sure it was.
Yeah.
And, as you said, it's obviously going to evolve because this is a bigger and bigger issue. And I mean, Korea has so few births. I don't know if they can really afford to make it harder for people to choose to have babies.
Yep.
But wow, that's really interesting. Thanks for educating me about that. And I'm sure a lot of our listeners. Now, we can check this out online, right?
Yes, you can find this segment in video and my YouTube channel. You can find me by searching Korean Law 101 on YouTube.
All right. Thank you so much for coming in today.
Thank you for having me.
Down to the second.